Hi, my name is Rachel, and I'm finally at the end of my double degree of Business Advertising and Creative Industries Interactive and Visual Design. So today I'll be reflecting on the semester that's been, including my role and what it was like to work in a team. So at the start of the semester, we were told we were working in groups of 10, which seemed quite overwhelming to think about because it's normally hard as it is with just a couple of people. But nevertheless, we chose our roles in week 2, and I decided to go with production because I have that creative industries knowledge as well. So to help illustrate the process and development of our group work, I'll be referring to Tuckman and Jensen's theory, which includes the stages of forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. So the forming stage began once we got into our group, introduced ourselves, spoke about our availability, maybe our expectations, and about why we chose our roles. I guess it was your usual kind of awkward getting to know you stage where it seemed to progress well as it moved forward though. We started up a Facebook group from day one to keep the communication lines open. And I was actually lucky enough to have Kieran as my production partner. I'd worked with her in creative industries before as well. So looking at Samson and Duff's framework for defining groups and teams, at the beginning I think we were all on the same page to work as a team with shared leadership roles, both individual and mutual accountability with our partners. We all had a specific team purpose and wanted open-ended discussions and all of that. However, it wasn't always nice and peachy as per usual with group assignments. As storming is the next stage where group members conflict with each other as they find and try to resolve differences of opinion as key issues arise, as well as conflict arising from how members relate. We worked quite well together, but no doubt some of this was evident once the campaign was underway, with people apparently not doing their parts or not being able to attend meetings right when it was the most crucial and important time for their role. But because everyone's part was dependent on someone else's, it kind of caused a domino effect on the rest of the team. And the cattiness behind some people's backs was not that great either. But then the norming stage is when the roles begin to become clearer and the group is willing to engage in mutual problem solving. And if no leader is appointed, then an informal leader may emerge. Although there were the account managers in our group, they didn't particularly lead the group as such, so I kind of felt that I was becoming that informal leader. So being in a production role, I knew we had a huge job ahead of us in the last few weeks of semester, so it kind of felt natural to ensure that everyone was on track and making sure everything was done on time. And I've also generally found in my nature that it's like myself to take the lead as I'm a very organised person, although I try to be conscious to not be one of those control freaks that some groups have. I think I could also be classified as the completer according to Belkin's 8 team types, someone who worries about the problems, personally checks on the details and sees the project through. So the performing stage occurs when the roles are clear and functional and when energy is channeled towards the task, although not all groups reach this stage. To be really honest, in the last few weeks it felt like half of the group kind of dropped off the face of the earth after they'd done their parts. They didn't really care about the end product, which was a shame. And it's funny how everyone starts off on their best foot, but as the weeks goes on, they don't even tell you. They can't make a team meeting, and yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. But I think the difference between group work at uni and working in teams in the real world is that at work everyone actually has a common goal and the same expectations to get their work done, because you have to work towards that, because at the end of the day you won't have a job if you don't. But ultimately I think that at least some of our group did reach this stage of performing where at the tail end of the semester creative and production actually really worked well together, communicating openly, got feedback from each other, and even forming friendships after all the late nights at uni. So I think this definitely contributed to the sharp campaign that we produced at the end. And finally, adjourning, where group members prepare for disengagement as the group nears successful completion of its goals. I think we definitely achieved our goals with this campaign in the end, as we were voted the best campaign by our peers, and the Queensland Police are actually interested in looking into our campaign, which is really exciting and rewarding. It's a great way to finish off a long 13 weeks, and I guess it makes it feel kind of somewhat worth it after all of that. But adjourning from the group this time around will be a little bit different since I'm actually graduating this semester. So it's a little bit sad, a little bit surreal, but I'm definitely excited to see what's to come in the near future. So I'm hoping to find a job as a graphic or digital designer at an agency. I think that would be an awesome environment to kind of dive into straight away and be exposed to like so many facets. But I think I've been well prepared for the industry by my course, and it's a huge thanks to Louise and her team for getting us through it all. So thank you.